The morning sun filtered through the sheer curtains of their suburban home, casting a soft glow over the bedroom. Emma stretched lazily, her auburn hair splayed across the pillow, and glanced at the clock. It was 7:30 a.m., and her husband, Daniel, was still asleep beside her. She smiled to herself, a mischievous glint in her eye. Today was going to be different. Today, she had a plan. Daniel stirred, his dark hair tousled, and blinked sleepily at her. "Morning," he mumbled, his voice still thick with sleep. "Good morning, sleepyhead," Emma replied, leaning over to kiss his cheek. "I've got a surprise for you today." Daniel raised an eyebrow, intrigued but cautious. "A surprise? What kind of surprise?" "You'll see," she said cryptically, slipping out of bed and heading to the closet. She returned a moment later with a large, neatly wrapped box tied with a pink bow. "Here. Open it." Daniel sat up, rubbing his eyes, and took the box. He hesitated for a moment before carefully untying the bow and lifting the lid. Inside was a collection of soft, pastel-colored fabrics. He pulled out a delicate lace camisole, his eyes widening in surprise. "Emma, what is this?" "It's for you," she said, her tone light but firm. "I've been thinking about how we can spice things up a bit, and I thought this might be fun." Daniel stared at her, his expression a mix of confusion and disbelief. "You want me to wear this?" "Yes," Emma said, sitting down on the edge of the bed. "I think it'll be fun. And who knows? You might even enjoy it." Daniel shook his head, a nervous laugh escaping his lips. "I don't know, Emma. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this." Emma reached out, placing a hand on his arm. "Daniel, I love you. And I want us to try new things together. This doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just something different, something exciting. Trust me." Daniel looked down at the camisole in his hands, the soft fabric slipping through his fingers. He had always been the more reserved one in their relationship, while Emma was the adventurous spirit. But he trusted her, and he wanted to make her happy. "Okay," he said finally, his voice hesitant. "I'll try it." Emma's face lit up with a triumphant smile. "Great. Let's get started." She took the box from him and began laying out the contents on the bed. There was the camisole, a matching lace thong, a pair of sheer stockings, and a silky pink robe. Daniel's eyes widened as he took in the array of feminine garments. "All of this?" "Yes," Emma said, her tone encouraging. "I want you to feel beautiful." Daniel swallowed hard, his heart pounding in his chest. He had never considered wearing women's clothing before, but the idea was both terrifying and strangely exhilarating. He nodded slowly, and Emma clapped her hands in delight. "Okay, first things first," she said, picking up the camisole. "Let's get you into this." Daniel stood up, his hands trembling slightly as he pulled off his t-shirt. Emma helped him slip the camisole over his head, the soft lace brushing against his skin. It felt strange, but not entirely unpleasant. Next came the thong, which he stepped into awkwardly, his face flushing with embarrassment. Emma giggled softly, but her touch was gentle as she adjusted the garment for him. "Now the stockings," she said, holding them out to him. Daniel sat down on the bed and rolled them up his legs, the sheer fabric clinging to his skin. Finally, Emma draped the pink robe over his shoulders, tying the sash at his waist. "There," she said, stepping back to admire her handiwork. "You look amazing." Daniel glanced down at himself, his reflection in the mirror catching his eye. He barely recognized the person staring back at him. The soft fabrics, the delicate lace, the way the robe hugged his frame, it was all so foreign, and yet there was something oddly captivating about it. "How do you feel?" Emma asked, her voice soft. Daniel hesitated, searching for the right words. I don't know. It's strange, but I think I like it." Emma's smile widened. "I knew you would. Now let's do something about your hair." She led him to the bathroom, where she had laid out an array of hair products and styling tools. Daniel sat down in front of the mirror, watching as Emma began to work her magic. She brushed out his dark locks, then used a curling iron to create soft waves. She added a touch of hairspray to hold the style in place, then stepped back to admire her work. "Perfect," she said, her eyes sparkling with satisfaction. Now, let's do your makeup. Daniel's eyes widened in alarm. Makeup? Emma, I don't know. Trust me, she said, cutting him off. You're going to love it. She pulled out a palette of eyeshadows, a tube of mascara, and a lipstick in a soft rose shade. Daniel sat still, his heart racing as Emma applied the makeup with practiced ease. She blended the eyeshadows to create a subtle, smoky effect, then coated his lashes with mascara, making them appear longer and fuller. Finally, she applied the lipstick, the color complementing his skin tone perfectly. There, she said, stepping back to admire her work. You look stunning. Daniel stared at his reflection, his breath catching in his throat. The person staring back at him was unrecognizable, soft, feminine, and undeniably beautiful. He felt a strange mix of emotions, embarrassment, excitement, and a growing sense of confidence. Emma, he said softly, his voice trembling. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, she replied, wrapping her arms around him. Just know that I love you, and I think you're beautiful, no matter what. Daniel felt a lump form in his throat, tears pricking at the corners of his eyes. He had never felt so vulnerable, so exposed, and yet, he had never felt so loved. He leaned into Emma's embrace, letting her warmth and reassurance wash over him. Thank you, he whispered, his voice barely audible. Emma kissed his cheek, then took his hand. Come on, let's go show off your new look. Daniel hesitated, his heart pounding in his chest. What? Emma, I can't go out like this. Why not? She asked, her tone playful. You look amazing. And besides, it's just us. No one else has to know. Daniel took a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. He trusted Emma, and he wanted to make her happy. Okay, he said finally, his voice shaky. Let's do it. Emma led him out of the bathroom and into the living room, where she had set up a small photo shoot. She had arranged a backdrop, a few props, and a camera on a tripod. Daniel's eyes widened in surprise. What's all this? He asked, his voice tinged with nervousness. I thought it would be fun to take some pictures, Emma said, her tone light. You look so beautiful, and I want to capture this moment. Daniel felt a flush of embarrassment, but he couldn't deny the thrill of excitement that coursed through him. He nodded slowly, and Emma positioned him in front of the backdrop. Just relax, she said, adjusting the camera settings. Be yourself. Daniel took a deep breath, trying to let go of his inhibitions. He struck a few poses, feeling awkward at first, but gradually becoming more comfortable. Emma snapped several photos, her enthusiasm infectious. She encouraged him to try different poses, to play with the props, and to let his personality shine through. As the photo shoot progressed, Daniel found himself enjoying the experience more than he had anticipated. The camera captured his transformation, and with each click of the shutter, he felt a growing sense of confidence. He was no longer just Daniel. He was someone new, someone bold and beautiful. When they finally finished, Emma pulled him into a tight hug. You are amazing, she said, her voice filled with pride. I'm so proud of you. Daniel smiled, a genuine sense of happiness washing over him. Thank you, Emma. This was incredible. Emma kissed him softly, then took his hand. Come on, let's go get changed, and then we can look at the photos together. They returned to the bedroom, where Daniel carefully removed the feminine garments and changed back into his usual clothes. As he did, he couldn't help but feel a sense of loss, as if he were shedding a part of himself. But he also felt a newfound sense of confidence, a belief that he could embrace this side of himself without fear. Later that evening, they sat together on the couch, scrolling through the photos on Emma's laptop. Daniel was amazed at how different he looked, how the camera had captured a side of him he had never seen before. Emma pointed out her favorite shots, her enthusiasm contagious. You know, she said, her tone thoughtful, this could be the start of something really special. Daniel looked at her, his brow furrowing in confusion. What do you mean? I mean, she said, taking his hand, this could be the beginning of a new chapter for us. A chance to explore new things together, to grow closer as a couple. Daniel nodded slowly, the weight of her words sinking in. He had always been content with their life together, but now he saw the potential for something more. Something deeper, more intimate, and more exciting. "I think you're right," he said, his voice filled with determination. "Let's do it." Emma smiled, her eyes shining with love and excitement. "I'm so glad you feel that way, because I have a few more ideas." Daniel laughed, a sense of anticipation building within him. Whatever came next, he knew that with Emma by his side, he could face anything. Together, they would explore this new dynamic, embracing the changes and challenges that lay ahead. And in doing so, they would discover a deeper, more profound connection, one that would strengthen their bond and bring them closer than ever before. As they sat together, planning their next steps, Daniel felt a sense of peace and contentment. He had taken a leap of faith, and in doing so, he had discovered a new side of himself. With Emma's love and support, he knew that he could continue to grow, to explore, and to embrace the person he was meant to be. And so, their journey began, a journey of love, trust, and transformation. Together, they would navigate the twists and turns of this new path, finding joy and fulfillment in the process. And through it all, they would remain steadfast in their commitment to each other, building a life filled with passion, adventure, and endless possibilities. As the days turned into weeks, Daniel and Emma's exploration of their new dynamic deepened. What had started as a playful experiment soon became a meaningful part of their relationship. Emma's initial encouragement had sparked something in Daniel, a curiosity, a willingness to step outside his comfort zone, and a growing sense of confidence in embracing his femininity. For Emma, it was a chance to take the lead in their relationship in a way she hadn't before, guiding Daniel through this journey with patience and love. One evening, as they sat together on the couch after dinner, Emma turned to Daniel with a thoughtful expression. "I've been thinking," she began, her voice soft but deliberate. "What if we took this a step further?" Daniel looked at her, his curiosity piqued. "What do you mean?" Emma smiled, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "I mean, what if we made this a more regular thing? Not just dressing up for fun, but really exploring this side of you. I think there's so much more we can discover together." Daniel hesitated, his mind racing. The idea of making this a more permanent part of their lives was both thrilling and intimidating. He had enjoyed the moments of transformation, the way it made him feel seen and appreciated in a new way. But the thought of committing to it more fully was daunting. "I don't know, Emma," he said slowly. "It's one thing to do this in private, but what if someone finds out? What if people judge us?" Emma reached out, taking his hand in hers. "Daniel, I understand your fears. But this is about us, not anyone else. We don't have to share this with the world if you're not ready. This is about exploring who you are and who we can be together. And I'll be with you every step of the way." Her words were comforting, and Daniel felt a surge of gratitude for her unwavering support. He took a deep breath, nodding slowly. "Okay, let's try it. But let's take it one step at a time." Emma's smile widened, and she squeezed his hand. "Of course. We'll go at your pace." Over the next few weeks, Emma began to introduce small changes into their daily routine. She started by suggesting that Daniel wear more androgynous clothing, soft sweaters, fitted jeans, and even a pair of ankle boots that could easily pass as unisex. Daniel found himself enjoying the subtle shift in his wardrobe, the way the fabrics felt against his skin, and the way Emma's eyes lit up when she saw him in his new outfits. One weekend, Emma surprised Daniel with a shopping trip. "I thought it would be fun to pick out some things together," she said as they walked through the mall. "You've been so brave, and I want to reward you." Daniel felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as they entered a boutique filled with feminine clothing. Emma guided him through the racks, picking out dresses, skirts, and blouses for him to try on. At first, Daniel felt self-conscious, but Emma's enthusiasm was infectious. She encouraged him to embrace the experience, to see it as an opportunity to express himself in new ways. In the fitting room, Daniel slipped into a flowing floral dress, the fabric swishing around his legs as he moved. He looked at himself in the mirror, his heart pounding. The dress fit him perfectly, accentuating his figure in a way he had never imagined possible. When he stepped out to show Emma, Her eyes widened in admiration. "Daniel, you look incredible," she said, her voice filled with awe. "That dress was made for you." Daniel felt a flush of pride, his confidence growing with each passing moment. They left the store with several new outfits, and Daniel couldn't wait to try them on at home. As the weeks went by, Daniel's transformation became more pronounced. Emma taught him how to walk in heels, how to apply makeup with precision, and how to style his hair in ways that complemented his features. Daniel found himself looking forward to their sessions together. The way they brought him closer to Emma and allowed him to explore a side of himself he had never known existed. One evening, as they were getting ready for a quiet night in, Emma turned to Daniel with a mischievous smile. "I have an idea," she said. "What if we went out?" Daniel's eyes widened in surprise. "Out? Like in public?" Emma nodded. "Yes. Just the two of us. We could go to a quiet cafe or a small restaurant where no one knows us. It would be a chance for you to experience being yourself in a different setting." Daniel's heart raced at the thought. The idea of stepping out into the world as his feminine self was both thrilling and terrifying. But he trusted Emma, and he knew she wouldn't suggest it if she didn't think he was ready. "Okay," he said finally, his voice trembling slightly. "Let's do it." Emma's face lit up with excitement, and she immediately began planning their outing. She helped Daniel choose an outfit, a chic blouse, a pencil skirt, and a pair of low heels, and spent extra time on his makeup, ensuring he looked flawless. When they were finally ready, Daniel stood in front of the mirror, his breath catching in his throat. "You look stunning," Emma said, her voice filled with pride. "Are you ready?" Daniel took a deep breath, nodding. "As ready as I'll ever be." They left the house hand in hand, the cool evening air brushing against their skin. Daniel felt a mix of emotions, nervousness, excitement, and a growing sense of confidence. As they walked to the cafe, he focused on Emma's reassuring presence, drawing strength from her unwavering support. When they arrived, the cafe was quiet, with only a few patrons scattered throughout the space. Emma led Daniel to a secluded table in the corner, where they could enjoy some privacy. As they sat down, Daniel felt a surge of relief. He had done it. He had stepped out into the world as his true self, and it felt liberating. Over the course of the evening, Daniel found himself relaxing, his initial nervousness giving way to a sense of joy and freedom. He and Emma talked and laughed, their connection stronger than ever. For the first time, Daniel felt truly seen and accepted for who he was, and it was a feeling he would cherish forever. As they walked home that night, hand in hand, Daniel turned to Emma with a grateful smile. "Thank you," he said softly, "for everything." Emma squeezed his hand, her eyes filled with love. "Always, Daniel. No matter what, I'll always be here for you." Their journey was far from over, but Daniel knew that with Emma by his side, he could face anything. Together, they would continue to explore this new chapter of their lives, embracing the changes and challenges that lay ahead. And through it all, their love would remain the guiding force, lighting the way and bringing them closer with each passing day. Thank you so much for watching till now. It means the world to have you here. This community is all about empowering each other and celebrating the incredible journeys of everyone on their path to living authentically. If you're ever feeling lost or alone, remember you have a whole family here for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and let's keep inspiring each other, sending you all the love and strength in the world. Until next time, live your life by your rules.